Good morning, students. Today we are going to study about the last part of lesson number 15, Economic Development. Today we are going to discuss the following points. Socialist system, features of socialist system, benefits of socialist system, limitation of socialist system, and a mixed economy. Then second method of a resource allocation is a socialist system. So socialist system originated because of the limitations and that the failures of a market system. And countries like Russia and China have a socialist system. They have achieved progress due to this system. Socialist system is just opposite to that market system. In socialist system, all economic decisions are taken by the state machinery. State owns all the resources of production. In this system, whole economy is managed by the state. All the decisions are pertaining to related to production, investment, resource distribution, production, distribution, etc. are taken after keeping that requirements of the society in mind. In the socialist system, rather than profit, social welfare is at the center. That means that in this system, they are producing the things, seeing that good of the people. In market system, we have seen they are producing the things, keeping that profit in mind. But in socialist system, things are produced keeping in mind social welfare. Production of resources and their prices are decided by the state. So what to produce and its prices are also decided by the state. And responsibility to achieve the target of production decided by the state owned factories. And farming is also owned by the state. And laborers are paid wages according to their ability to do the work. Those who are doing that more proper work, they will be given the wages according to their work. So what is that a socialist system? It has taken all the good points of that market mechanism system and it tries to remove the limitations of a market system. And it is just opposite to that a market system. In that a socialist system, that everything is under the control of the state machinery, and state owns all the resources of production. All the decisions are related to production, investment, resource distribution, production distribution are taken after keeping that requirements, need of the society in mind. What is the main center of a main motive of a socialist system? Social welfare of the people living in the society. And the part to produce and its prices are also fixed by the state. Then what are the features of a socialist system? First one is that resources are owned by the state. We have seen all the factors of production, land, labor, capital, entrepreneurs, they are all owned by the state, under the control of the state. Second one is that all the economic decision, what to produce, how much to produce, they are decided by the state. Then what is the center of all the economic activity? Social welfare. That means that welfare, good of the people living in the society. Then next, fourth important feature is that laborers are paid wages. Wages means they are doing the work and they are getting the reward according to their work. Means those laborers, those who are doing the work well, they are giving that a promotion. Those who are not doing the work properly, they are giving that a demotion. So what are the features of socialist system? Resources are owned by the state. Second one is that all the economic decisions are taken by the state. What to produce, how to produce, and how much to produce is decided by the state. What is the center of all the economic activities? Social welfare. Then laborers are also paid wages according to their work. Then what are the benefits of socialist system? Benefits means what are the advantages of socialist system? We have seen in socialist system, they are not producing that unimportant and luxurious goods. And things are produced according to the requirements of the society. That is why they are not producing unimportant and luxurious items. Then second one is that what to produce, how to produce, they are decided by the state. That is why there is no wastage of resources. They are not wasting the resources. Then third one is that there is no disparity of income and property. Everything is equally distributed among the people. That is why there is no difference between the rich and the poor. that the disparity of in all are having that say equal amount of money, equal, and like everything is equally distributed among the people. That is why there is no disparity of income and property. Then last one is that consumers are not exploited. That means they are not selling that goods of a low quality, that underweight, then that low prices of goods. Everything is equally distributing among the people. That is why consumers are not exploited. So what are the benefits or advantages of socialist system? First one is that they are producing the things according to the requirements of the people. That is why unimportant and luxurious goods are costly items are not produced. The next one is that everything is under the control of the state. That is why there is no wastage of resources. Then third one is that there is no difference between the rich and the poor. All are equal in the society. Last one is that consumers are not exploited. Then what are the limitations or disadvantages of a socialist system? We have seen that the all the resources of production are owned by the state, that people are not getting encouragement and motivation to increase production. And we have seen they cannot take a profit, and that is why people are not getting encouragement, or competition is not there, profit is not there. That is why people are not getting encouragement and motivation to increase the production. Then next one is that due to lack of competition, they are not doing the research. Why they are doing the research? In order to that if they want to, through research they want to see how they can lower the prices of the things, how they can improve the quality of things. In socialist economy, they are not doing that research and a contest, because there is a lack of a competition. Then third one is that a lack of individual freedom is there. We have seen everything is under the control of that state, and individuals also cannot freely buy the things according to their choice. Whatever state is providing them, they have to accept it. The last one is that there is fear of bureaucracy. Bureaucracy means a society is controlled by the government officers. No one can raise their voice against that bureaucrats, officers. So what are the limitations of socialist system? Because that everything is under the control of the state, people are not getting encouragement and motivation to increase production. Second one is that due to the lack of competition, contest and research, due to the lack of competition, contest and research do not take place. Then third one is that there is a lack of individual freedom. Everything is under the control of the state. Last one is that there is fear of the bureaucracy. That means the whole society is controlled by the bureaucrats, that government officers. Then next third method of a resource allocation is that a mixed economy. That a mixed economy, it tries to remove the limitations of market system and a socialist system, and it tries to take all the good elements of both the systems. And in mixed economy, you can find there is the existence of coexistence, means at the same time both the public sector and the private sector exist, live. That a public sector means the sector which is under the control of the government. Private sector means the sector which is under the control of the private person or individual. And both in mixed economy, this public sector and private sector, they do not work as a competitors. They are working as a complementary to each other. That means they work hand in hand. Both exist at the same time. And what are the features of a mixed economy? The spheres of activities of private sector and public sector is clearly demarcated. So which areas a private sector has to work, which areas a public sector has to work, that is clearly mentioned in mixed economy. And we can find a private ownership in agriculture, that trade and consumer industries. So these agriculture, trade and consumer industries, they are under the control of a private person or individual. But the most important area of economy, such as railways, heavy industries, iron and steel industry, defense, atomic energy, etc., they are under the control of the public sector or government. Then that public sector, it is completely under the control of a state. And this mixed economy, it is also known as a controlled economy, because that activities of the private sector, they are controlled by the state, and at the same time there is a planning commission is there. It is deciding that economic policies, which countries have that a mixed economy. India, England and France have a mixed economy. Socialist economy, which country have a Russia and China. Market mechanism, which country has England and America. And that which countries have that a mixed economy, India, England and France. Then what are the limitations of mixed economy? What are the disadvantages? Economic instability is there. That means means always there is a high and changing that inflation. Inflation means the value of commodities increases and that value of money decreases. Purchasing power of that means commodities value decreases and that money value increases. Then lack of coordination of that private and public sector. Then third one is inconsistent economic policies. That means a situation in which decision makers prefer change over time. Last one is that a mixed economy, there is a low rate of economic development. This lesson is completed. I am giving you some of the questions as a homework. You have to make a separate notebook for economics and write the answers for these questions. That I am showing you the answers in the textbook. Page number I am saying that you have to mark in your textbook. First one is discuss any 5 features of a developing economy. You have to start with the introduction that a World Bank divide the countries of the world into 2 on the basis of a per capita income. Those countries having less than $735 are considered as a developing economy. Then following are the features. From 9 points we have studied, which one is easy for you to learn, that you have to write. First one is less per capita income. Second one, population growth. Third one, dependence on agriculture. Then fourth one, unemployment. Fifth one is poverty. Then second question is wants are unlimited, explain. That take page number 123. That human wants are unlimited and uncountable. So many wants originate from one want. Many requirements have to be fulfilled again and again, while some of the wants arise because of a development of science and technology. So in order to fulfill the wants, one has to make a selection among wants. Then third one is discuss the limitation of market system. Take page number that 125. That limitation of market system, 5 points are there. First one is that luxurious and luxurious commodities are produced, neglecting the needs of the poor people. Second one is that natural resources are wasted. Third one is consumers are exploited. Then fourth one is there is increase in disparity of income. Fifth one is there is a monopoly. There is a fear of monopoly, economic instability, and exploitation of labor. Then next question is land as a factor of production. Take a page number 123. That land is a natural resources. That in terms of economics, land means a different type of natural resources, which includes forest, rivers, mountains, minerals present in the interior of the earth, metals, etc. present on the surface of the earth. This land is a natural tool for production. Then next fifth question is a limitation of a socialist system. Take page number 126. First one is that that people do not get encouragement and motivation to increase production. Then second one is that due to the lack of competition, contest and research do not get a momentum in the economy. Then third one is there is lack of individual freedom in this system. Fourth one is because of a complete interference, there is a fear of a bureaucracy. Then that a difference between economic progress and economic development. That take page number 120. In that means on the basis of that developmental process. Economic progress is that economic progress is the first stage. Economic progress is the second stage, and economic development is the first stage. Economic progress is a quantitative, economic development is a qualitative. Then second one is according to changes taking place in economy. That first one in economic development, you have to write if that increase in production occurs due to increase in land, that is economic progress. And then the economic development you have to write if that the production increases due to research, that is economic progress. Then in relation to developed and developed countries, that means that increase in national income of developed countries is economic progress. Increase in national income of a developing countries is economic development. Then right note on primary sector, that agriculture and agriculture related activities are included in primary sector, like that poultry farming, then cattle rearing, collection of forest products, mining of raw metals, etc. Then difference between economic and non-economic activity, that you have to make a 2 columns and write economic activity and non-economic activity. First one, economic activity, earning or spending money for the exchange of commodities or services, page number 122. Non-economic activities you have to write activities that are not aimed at obtaining income or reciprocate something indirectly are called economic activities. Then second point, that example you have to write economic activities, that a farmer, teacher, artisan, etc. The non-economic activities you have to write nurturing of a child by mother, social worker, etc. Then what is economic development? Page number 120. Economic development is a process. There is increase in national income of the country. There is increase in per capita income of the country. As a result, the living standard of the people increases. That is called economic development. Then which are the factors of production in them? You have to write there are page number 123. You have to write the answer like this. There are 4 factors of production. They are land, capital, labor, and entrepreneurship. Land means natural resources. For example, that minerals, rivers, forest, etc. They are present on the earth's surface. It is a natural tool of production. Capital, man-made instrument which are useful for production is called a capital. For example, that a property, assets, investment, tools, etc. Labor means a mental or physical work done with an aim to obtain monetary gain. For example, laborers, workers, teachers, etc. Entrepreneurship. The process of coordinating the 3 factors of production is called entrepreneurship. And the person who coordinate all the 3 factors of production are called entrepreneurs. Then what do you mean by alternative use of resources? Take page number 124. In that, resources to satisfy demands are limited. Not only this, they have alternative usage also. When any tool of production may be utilized in more than one way, it means that the tool has a multiple usage. So it may be said that a usage is alternative. For example, when if a wheat is sown in a land, bajra, maize, groundnut, and any other yield cannot be cultivated. So these answers you have to write in the notebook and then give the answer and learn the answers also.